Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie. Welcome if this is your first visit. I hope you enjoyed this week's reading. This week we will be doing a pick a card reading for February 21st to the 27th, 2021. There are only 28 days this month, so this is the last full week of February. So we are just zooming right through 2021 so far. To compound that, this being kind of a short month, only 28 days, so we're just done before we know it, we also have a full moon on the 27th. So that will carry us through, since that energy lasts about 3 days after the event itself. That's going to take us right into the first week of March 2021. So, and then before you know it, we'll be done with the first quarter. So, like I said, this week will be a pick a card. There are 3 cards here you can kind of start focusing on if you'd like to. And we'll talk about those a little more in just a second. So this week we will do a pick a card reading focusing on the full moon energy on February 27th, but also the new moon energy on March 13th. So a full moon, new moon reading. The full moon will be kind of what to let go of, or the energy we're moving out of, and the new moon will be what we want to create, what we want to manifest, what we want to bring in on that second week of March. So I will use, these cards are from a Healing Crystals crystal card deck. And we'll talk more about these as we go through each one. And then the 2 cards for the full moon and the new moon energies are from a new deck that I just got recently called the Urban Crow Oracle, which is a little bit different. Kind of, I mean, it's exactly what it says. It has a kind of urban energy to it. So very neat artwork, kind of a smaller indie produced deck. So we will do the pick a cards, the new moon and the full moon from this deck. So let's talk a little bit. This will be card 1, and it's an Alexandrite. This will be card 2, and it's a Brookite. And this will be card 3, and it's a Tangerine Aura Quartz. So just take a second and tune into the energy of these crystals. See which one calls to you, or which 2 call to you, or if you want all 3, that is absolutely fine too. Likewise, if you stumble across this reading outside the time frame of February 21st to 27th, and the messages feel meaningful to you, then take them. That's fine. So, and that's going to be our 3rd one. So there's our 3 crystals: Alexandrite number 1, Brookite number 2, Tangerine Aura Quartz number 3. So I'll just take those down, and let's just start with group 1. And again, this is going to be for the energy that's coming in for the new moon, the full moon on February 27th, the day before the end of this month. I did shuffle this deck ahead of time just because I haven't worked with it much. So let me make sure I have the guidebook and everything removed from it. So we are just focusing on group 1 right now, the energy that you need to let go of, and then the energy you need to bring in. I'm going to go ahead and draw all of the cards now for all of the groups, and then we'll talk about them one by one. So those of you who chose group 1, the Alexandrite group, let's talk about the Alexandrite a little bit at the beginning. So Alexandrite is kind of a cool stone. It's June's birthstone. I know that because I was born in June. That's the only reason I know that. Alexandrite and pearl. Alexandrite kind of switches colors between red and green, or pink and green. And interestingly enough, it connects the root chakra to the heart chakra, and then up into the crown chakra for that kind of higher vibrational energy that connects you to source, to your higher self, to spirit. So its 3 keywords are manifestation, regeneration, and motivation. So it sounds like you're getting moving this week if you chose group 1. And the affirmation you can use is, I am courageous. And what does it take sometimes to get out of a rut and to move forward? It takes a little bit of courage to kind of get the wheels turning again. So Goes right along with that. Manifestation is creation energy, regeneration, and motivation. I am courageous. So that's your energy for those of you who chose group 1 this week. And then your cards that came out, let's take a look at those. Super interesting, given that we are just talking about manifestation, regeneration, motivation, and I am courageous. You had, for the energy to let go of during this full moon, you had routine. So routine says, what are we doing that feels like an obligation? What is just a habit? What are we kind of stuck in a loop pattern about? Those things can lead to stagnation. Are you just going through the motions of your day-to-day life, of your job, with your loved ones? Or are you having some deeper conversations? Are you really engaging? Or are you just kind of going through the motions? Is your routine is okay if the routine brings you joy. Has your routine become too routine is what this card wants to ask you for this week. So has your routine become an obligation? Has your routine become a habit? Is your routine feeling stagnant? So you want to get into patterns that bring you joy. So really just kind of maybe focusing on that this week, examining your habits, examining your obligations, examining your behaviors, examining the routine you've gotten into, and finding places where you can kind of interject bits of things that are outside your routine, things that are outside your norm, things that bring you joy. So this is the energy to let go of at the end of this month. Is routine. Routine that feels like it's obligation, routine that feels like it's habit, routine that feels like it's stagnation. Because what does that get you when you go into, if we work on that for the next few weeks of letting go of that, what that brings in for the new moon on March 13th is freedom, which is perfect. It's the perfect opposite energy to routine. It's the, if we're letting go of this, we're bringing this in. So freedom says, you don't need to stay in the routine. You can change your course at any time. And if you look at the graphic on this card, it's kind of much more joyous when it's flying up above. When it can rise up above in that kind of higher vibrational energy, it brings you a new perspective. It allows you to see, maybe where your routine has gotten a little stagnant. So that brings a sense of freedom. That brings a sense of joy. That brings that regeneration and that motivation in. So for those of you who chose group 1, it's really about regeneration. Maybe it is a little outside your comfort zone and it takes some courage to bust out of these old routines and this stagnation. But what it brings you then is a sense of freedom and a sense of renewal. So that's your energy for those of you who chose group 1. And then those of you who chose group 2 with the Brookite, let's talk about it for a moment. Brookite works with all the chakras across the board. To balance everything from the root on up to the crown. Its 3 keywords are energizing, attracting, and flowing. So that sounds like good energy to be bringing in. And it says, I am progressive. So something that's moving you forward between the letting go energy of this full moon and the creation energy of the new moon that's coming in on March 13th. Energizing, attracting, flowing. I am progressive. So what does that mean? I am progressing on the path I am chosen. And I am doing that by attracting what needs to propel me forward and flowing easily in that energy. So then your cards that came out from the Urban Crow Oracle are the one to let go of, the one you're in now that you may need to work on kind of letting go of during this full moon, is dominance. So that's interesting because dominance to me kind of has an energy opposite of flow and opposite of attracting what you want. So dominance says you may feel restricted, and this could be self-imposed. You may feel restricted by another person. You may feel controlled by obligations and relationships or situations or your job. But you may also be the one who feels the need to control, that is the one who is asserting dominance. And this could be, like I said, self-imposed. It could be that you're controlling yourself, you're dominating yourself. This came up in group 1, as far as routine. So this also says you may feel restricted. And this could be the word that keeps coming up, the phrase that keeps coming up is this could be self-inflicted. This could be self-imposed control. This could be self-imposed limitation. This could be self-imposed restriction. So really taking inventory of, if you are feeling controlled by outside forces and how that could be remedied, or if you are constricting and controlling and dominating yourself and you need to let go a little more to get into this state of flow where you can attract the energies you do want, because we can't do that from a state of constriction. So this is the energy for the full moon, the end of this month, the 27th of February, is dominance. And then the energy that comes in if you release this and sort of get into the energy of flow and attraction, what comes in? And it's the energy of growth. So that is perfect. So the opposite of constriction is growth. So this new moon is on March 13th, but we'll be kind of working on it between the end of the month and that time period. So growth says it's time to move on to bigger and better things. It's time to let go of these self-imposed restrictions and constrictions so that you can grow. But growth also says sometimes it's not super easy. Growth sometimes says we either feel growing pains or we may feel like we're out of our comfort zone. Sometimes it is uncomfortable to reach and grow. Sometimes things don't come easily to us and it takes a while to get into a new routine. But this says very clearly, spread your wings in order for this new world to open up to you. And you can see the bird that has made it up there is surrounded by light and is singing its song and is moving into a new way of being, is moving into a sense of freedom. So that's what we get if we let go of this dominance, this self-imposed control over ourselves. We allow ourselves to grow into a new space. We allow ourselves to experience new things. So that is your energy for those of you who chose group 2 this week. And then group 3, if you chose the Tangerine Aura Quartz, it is root, sacral, solar plexus. So those 3 lower chakras that are really about self-worth, self-love, but also about creation and feeling grounded and stable. And its 3 keywords are self-esteem, creativity, and sexuality. And it says, I am worthy. So like I just mentioned, it's really about connecting with self-worth. So I am worthy, the affirmation for you to work on this week, group 3. And there's your Tangerine Aura Quartz. So then your 2 cards that came out from the Crow Oracle, the energy to let go of this week for you is going to be scavenge. So this is the energy to let go of this week and leading up to that full moon and as we move into the first week of March. Scavenge says you may be settling for something less than because you think it is all that's available to you or that it's all you're worthy of. So that goes right back to that self-worth energy. And I am worthy, so that's pretty amazing. So scavenge says basically stop scraping the bottom of the barrel. You're better than that. It's time to set your sights a little higher. It's time to know that you are worthy of achieving great things. It's time to know that you are worthy of creating great things, and you can do that. It's time for you to realize that you can bring these things into your life, but first you have to kind of connect with self-worth and self-love and know that you are worthy of bringing these things in. Because it's all about the emotion of belief. Do I believe that I can create these things? Do I believe that I can have the life I want? And the answer is no. If you don't believe it's possible, if you don't believe you're worthy of it, then it just won't be in the right vibrational match for you. So this is about letting go of any doubts you have, of self-doubt. That's what we want to let go of this week and during this full moon. And stop settling for things that are less than what you want just because you don't quite have the belief that you're worthy of it. So that's what to work on this week, is letting go of the energies that you have to settle for something, just letting go of that energy. And then the self-worth will kind of start to come naturally and flow in naturally. But letting go of the belief that you have to settle for something less than what you want, because you are worthy. So that scavenge energy is what we're letting go of. The scraping the bottom of the barrel, the settling energy. And then the energy that comes in, these have been perfect this week. They're very matched up. The energy that comes in for the new moon on March 13th and for us to work on in that time period between the full moon and the new moon is abundance. So what is the opposite of scraping the bottom of the barrel? What is the opposite of believing we're not worthy of what we want to create and achieve and have come to us? The opposite of that energy is abundance, is knowing that we're worthy, that we can have anything we want, that it easily flows to us. So abundance says, focus your energy on what you do want, not what you don't want. And that's why we want to just let this go. We want to say, whatever it is you want to create, whether it's more money or a healthy relationship or a new job, focus on what you do want, not what you don't want. You know, we don't want to say, I don't, I don't want to have this relationship anymore. I don't want to have this job anymore. I need more money. That's a perfect example. Because then we're going to stay in that state of I don't want or I need more. It's not going to actually flow to us. So we want to be in the state of abundance where we believe it's already there, it's already for us, and it's already possible because it is. And it's just a matter of drawing it into our physical reality. So, what the abundance card said is focus your energy and attention on what you want to create, not what you don't have. So, we're saying, you know, I am thankful that the perfect job is here for me. I am thankful that the perfect relationship is here for me. And I am thankful that I have enough. And we know that it's all there, it's all waiting for us. We just have to let go of the energy of believing that we're not worthy of having it and allow the energy of abundance to come in, where all things are easily taken. So we're definitely not scraping the bottom of the barrel with this energy by mid-March. We are knowing that everything is there for the taking for us as long as we know we are worthy of it. So that is your energy for this week, group 3. And I know people like the pick of cards, but at the end of it, I feel like they're all very connected. So if you are drawn to listen to more than one group, please do that because I do feel that they are all very connected this week. I know I say that every time I do a pick a card. So I hope you enjoy this, and I will see you next week.